Hello there folks, and welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. Today we're going to take a first look at Spirit of Steam. Yeah, Spirit of Steam's here. The first steam engine duo and steam-centric route for Train Sim World 2 is finally here. Highly sought after by a lot of the community, and I've been interested in day one to seeing what this is going to turn out like, what it's going to be all about. First and foremost, if you can't tell by my slightly southern and ridiculous accent, I am American. And while I do enjoy, British rail and some things in the UK, I am not by any means deeply vetted and knowledgeable with British steam. But I know a little bit. I think I know a little bit to get by. But at any rate, this is just going to be an experience kind of look. See what it looks like. See what it feels like, sounds like. The engines, rolling stock, the route itself. See what the feel is all about of the route itself. But just a little tiny bit about it, just in case you are not aware. This route covers Liverpool Lime Street to Crewe. It's $29.99. in American dollars. It's about 36 miles, circa 1958. It's going to have 15 stations, the LMS Jubilee class in Brunswick Green, and LMS Stanier 8F class in weathered BR late unlined black. All kinds of different rolling stock, tutorials in 5 scenarios, yada yada, boom boom, scenario planner, compatible, livery designer, all that good stuff. But we're going to get stuck in. I'm going to click it, see what this is all about right from the get-go. So let's look at it here, shall we? This is on PC as well, for what it's worth, if you were not aware. PC. Personal computer. Any minute now. These are some really great photos here. Here we go. Holla holla.
Welcome to Crewe, located in the northwest of England.
Pat Medelson.
Step back in time and discover the soot and sounds of the steam era. Climb aboard iconic living locomotives hungry for coal and water, and work hard on busy passenger and freight services through historic Merseyside and Cheshire.
So, for those unaware, Merseyside is along the River Mersey around Liverpool, and Cheshire is the area around Crewe, which was a huge base of operations for British rail from way back in the 1800s. So it's a huge depot and yard and all that, if you will. And still kind of is. Definitely not as much as it was back in the day, but still a bit is. All right, so let's hit E.
There's an empty poster over there. Let's fix that while we're here.
Ermagerd. Nice.
There are more tasks to find. Be sure to refill sand buckets, fill coal sacks, place travel posters, and light braziers.
So I'm getting pretty solid frames until I look that way. Yeesh. About 22, 24 frames. Okay. Alright, we're hopping in the garage.
Markers to board.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Got it.
Take a seat in first class.
Where's that? Oh. Ma'am? Pardon me?
You can pause the experience at any point and review previous and current objectives.
Uh-huh. It's pretty quiet. in the carriage here. Can you open the windows? Madam? Sire?
This train is powered by an LMS Jubilee class steam locomotive.
Uh-huh.
These were built between 1934 and 1936 and originally nicknamed Red Staniers because of their original crimson livery. But later,
Jubs.
Jubilee,
Or Jubes.
one of their class was named Silver Jubilee in recognition of the Silver Jubilee of King George V. During your journey as a driver on this route, you'll learn to drive this locomotive as well as the LMS Stanier Class 8F, a freight locomotive. You'll learn to haul a variety of different freight between the bustling yards and perform both express and local stopping passenger services. Learn all there is to know about operating these iconic locomotives in an era when steam was king. Welcome to Train Sim World's Spirit of Steam, Liverpool to Crewe.
Thank you. Train was kind of quiet there. Alright, so that's just your little intro, if you will. Let us continue. Oh, here we go. Alright. So I'm not good with operating steam. Never was in Train Sim Classic. Used auto fireman like a plebe weeb. And I think you pretty much got to control most everything by hand in these, I think.
Welcome to Runcorn Station. In this training module, we'll be learning how to drive an LMS Stanier Class 8F
The bridge.
locomotive in BR Black livery.
Where it is. Let me at it. Blap. Going over the footbridge. Yep. Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you. Righto. Perfect.
Stand on the platform and wait for your train to arrive.
It seems pretty darn smooth out here. That beyond looks pretty good out there. Looks okay. So far, so good. Lamppost is a nice touch. Now, it's not 3D, but it looks 3D. The little ripples here, anyway. It's very nice. Kind of worn platform signs, if you will.
Today, you'll be taking over a freight service bound for Ditton. This class of locomotive was built between 1935 and 1946 and was designed as a freight version of the highly successful Black 5 locomotive.
Yeah, boy.
Climb up onto the footplate to begin.
Let's do it. So, apparently the sounds from these things were recorded on location. So that's nice for Dovetail to get back in the swing of that. So we'll just see how they were implemented, because recording sound and editing them and implementing them are two totally different things. And apparently the rolling stock, from what I gather, I think are Armstrong Powerhouse sounds. I think. Oh boy. Here we go. Steam engine, baby. Of course, I got to start messing with stuff, even though it's telling me not to. Alright. Just want to have a little peek here. A lot of the interior seems really flat. It's almost like there's no depth to it. It's hard to put my finger on. I've got my resolution scaling all the way up 200% too. So, I don't know. It looks. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get on with it here.
Let's prepare the locomotive.
Oh,
for
dear God.
departure. The reverser determines the direction of travel and also how much power to apply.
So anyways,
Put the reverser into the full forward position.
yeah,
This ensures you'll get the maximum power to get the train moving.
I'll get right on that, Matt.
As you pick up speed, you'll need to move it towards the centre to save power.
So this is the LMS Class 8F. This is the freight workhorse of this add-on. LMS stands for London, Midland, and Scottish Railway. And the 8F, like I said, was built for hauling heavy freight. There were about 850 some odd built from 1935 to 1946, and essentially was the successor to the Black 5. Used in country and overseas quite a bit during and after the World War II period. And it's got a 280 wheel arrangement, coal burning, of course, 32,000 pounds force, tractive effort. And yeah, just a little bit about it. Let's get back in here. Right. W. 75, he says. There we are.
This locomotive has two types of brakes.
Safety valves are going to be quite loud and annoying.
Steam brakes will apply on just the locomotive. Vacuum brakes will apply on the rest of the train, so long as it is equipped with vacuum brakes. Use the combination brake to apply both types of brakes simultaneously.
Okay.
Vacuum brakes are released when there is a vacuum in the system. To apply braking force, air is added back in by the driver using the combination brake. To create a vacuum for the vacuum brake, we use the ejectors. The small ejector should be left open when the train is running. The large ejector can be used to more quickly increase the vacuum after coupling or heavy braking.
Alright, so set the small ejector to fully open. There we go.
Open the cylinder cocks to remove any water from cylinders after it has been left standing. Water in the cylinders can damage the locomotive as it doesn't compress like steam.
Alright, let's drain some cocks. There we go.
The regulator acts like the throttle for the steam.
Are we supposed to be moving?
It controls how much steam is delivered to the cylinders. Slowly open the regulator to apply power. Remember that power delivery is delayed in steam.
That passing train sounded pretty good. I don't know if you can hear it over the safeties. There we go. Alright, cylinder cocks to closed.
Now we're moving, we can open the regulator some more.
70, huh?
We're starting to pick up speed. Move the reverser towards the big gear. This reduces the amount of steam let into the cylinder at the same temperature.
Alright, we're going to Ditton. Didn't you know we're going to Ditton? Bridge looks pretty nice. Alright. So this funky looking bridge over here was apparently being built during this era. Got some barges down there as such. Still got that Train Sim World hang it just did. Yeah, everything looks kind of muddy to me. It's like everything's really it's like, I don't know, like wet mud Play-Doh. It's kind of hard to put my thumb on it. The textures of the locomotive, everything beyond the scenery. That whistle sounds legit. I like that. That's nice. What I don't like is it is not quillable.
We're approaching the next stop. Let's move on. Well, bring the train to a stop.
Wow, it's a cacophony of sound going on in this thing, and it sounds all right. We're still hauling very much ass. Oh dear God. Oh, look at that view. Nice. It's like head out, but tinder top. Why are we going so fast still? We're about to fail this. Okay, maybe not. And as much panic as that just induced, that feels pretty good. It does not feel strong at all. Like you literally got to plan your stop out.
Great work. Let's see how you did.
Not very well. All right, so that was the freight beastie weastie. Now I'm assuming, no, well, it's telling us, is there one? Let's see, there's got to be one for the Juba-dooba-ding-dong. Let's see, here we go. All right, training. There she is. Right. All right. I already don't remember what Mr. Medelson said about starting that thing and injectors and all that. We'll see if we can't at least get things moving, because we are most definitely going to take a deeper look at the rolling stock engines and the route itself. I just want to get through this as usual, so I kind of know what's going on to a degree. So anyway. All right.
Welcome to Allerton. In this introduction, we'll be learning how to drive an LMS Jubilee class.
There's
steam
the racehorse.
locomotive with BR Green livery. This class of locomotive was built between 1934 and 1936 and nicknamed Jubilee after one of its class was named Silver Jubilee. To get started, climb onto the footplate.
All right, so again, LMS Jubilee class, designed for passenger service, express passenger service at that, building over 190 locomotives from 1934 to 1936 in a 460 wheel arrangement, coal burning, of course, with 26,000 pounds force tractive effort. Right. The green looks pretty good. I kind of like it, seeing this up close now instead of just, pictures on the interweb. That looks nice. This thing, this would go perfect on West Somerset. This needs
Take a seat in the driver's position.
West
This
Somerset.
is where you'll be spending most of your time.
because WSR is pretty darn hilly, right? So, interior still has that kind of very vague and flat look. Like there's no, I don't know if it's shading. I'm not a developer. I can't make stuff like this. I'm a user, a pathetic user. But it looks kind of flat, everything. Like there's no AO or something. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's sit down. I'll stop my whining.
In this lesson, we will be performing passenger operation.
Yeah, boy. You can also press Y to open the left side passenger doors. That's right. There we go. Left door's unlocked. Nice overalls there, bub. Alright, so that's our safety release for the steam. That horrible noise. The best way to get rid of that sound is to operate the engines irresponsibly. So wide open throttle, drive around with the cylinder cocks open, whatever. Unless you want to hear that noise. Close the doors.
We're now ready to depart for West Allerton.
Yes, sir.
The reverser determines the direction of travel and also how much power to apply.
Yeah.
Move the reverser into the full forward position. This ensures you'll get the maximum power to get the train.
I like the motion of the reverser. It feels nice and smooth.
Power. Remember that power delivery is delayed in a steam locomotive.
All right, 15.
This locomotive has two types of brakes.
Release the brakes.
Steam and vacuum. To create a vacuum for the vacuum brakes, we use the ejectors.
Open them. So the small ejector was already open on this one. It's different than the 8F. Set the large ejector to closed. There we go. Kind of same whistle. Cylinder cocks closed. Rig to 40. That chuff sounds really deep. That's some good sounds. Look at that double decker. Nice. I am a bus nerd as well, so that's pretty cool what I just saw there.
We're starting to pick up speed. Move the reverser towards the mid-gear.
That son of a bitch is moving. Like that scene from that one Harry Potter. The crazy bus thing. Alright, what'd he say? 50. Yeah, I like the motion of the reverser here. It feels nice and fluid. West Allerton, 0.8. So think about steam engines. For those that may not know or need a refresher, the wheels told you everything about the locomotive. This, for example, has very large drive wheels. That means it was built for speed and not very much power. Whereas your freight locomotives typically have smaller wheels. So, little tiny steam lesson. That's all you're going to get from me. I know nothing.
Prepare the train to slow down.
All right, red closed.
Use the combination brake to apply both types of brakes simultaneously.
All right, we'll try 50. Now, what's tricky about this is these things had no speedometer. You know, it's just these old dudes could tell by, you know, passing a couple of blades of grass on how fast they were going. So, yeah, we stopped way too soon. It is a passenger service. It's not very heavy. We'll give her some more juice here. So, who's doing that? I swear I saw some pictures or something where there's supposed to be a fireman. And there's definitely no one over there. And the smoke slash steam is kind of found wanting. It's got a weird effect. The smoke in Train Sim World never looked that great to begin with, but on steam trains, smoke and steam is essential to look phenomenal. There's our safety. And it almost looks like this weird kind of afterthought 3D effect. It's just weird looking. Alright, so this thing is definitely a bit easier to stop than that 8F, as it should be. 8F's bigger, a little more chungusier, and had a heavier train. Whereas this just has little baby passenger coaches. Right. Abren las puertas. You know what? It is good to see steam engines in Train Sim World. Now, is any of this going to be 100% prototypical simulated? No. But as far as how I look at Train Sim World anyways now, is it's more like Train Simcade World. So I don't really expect, you know, full-on simulation from this anymore, if I'm honest. So if it's good enough and you enjoy yourself, then what the hell? You know, have at it.
To create a vacuum for the vacuum brake, we use the ejectors.
Alright, so whenever you apply brakes, you got to work on these ejectors here. Got to wait for that to hit 21. There it is. Probably shut it. There we go. Let's scooch. Well, the whistle was implemented well enough that you can kind of tap dance on the horn, whistle, spacebar, whatever you have it set as in the game. And it's pretty responsive, which is nice because, you know, Train Sim World stuff typically doesn't. And I might need to change some of my I&I settings. It looks a little funky on this route. So if it looks a bit odd to you, it's because it is. Alright, here we go. About half a mile Mossley Hill. Gonna give her a bunch of juice. Ah, you can open that hatch up there. Very nice. We'll, of course, look at this in a bit more detail a bit later on. Just want to get through the tutorials here. Dovetail have also included a kind of getting started thingamabob for this. So if you're a Steam numpty like myself, you know, that may be helpful. I'll try to link that down below, of course. Just kind of like a cheat sheet of what you need to do to get moving, you know, things of that nature. Hill starts, all that good stuff. I like this view. That's pretty neat. That's definitely new for the game. I do wish you could push this glass back. I don't know if you can. It does not appear so. You should be able to swivel these. Yeah, I don't know if we went far enough. Looks like some passengers going to be getting off in the dirt. Sorry, folks. Mossley Hill. There goes one of the old double-deckers. Nice. Nice. A lot of gardens. Alright. Alright. And semaphores. Of course, we have these on West Somerset. But I believe these were new, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, they had to work within their whole simulgraph, or whatever the heck it's called. Fancy something that makes the game do what it do. Plus, you know, semaphores
Now
are different.
close the doors and prepare to depart for Edge Hill unguided.
In different areas and different time periods, so. Right, here we are. Okay, brakes off. Open the injectors. Open the cylinder cacks. Let's boogie. $21 up there. Let's close this bad boy. Cylinder cock closed. We're chuffing. Chuff and Bruv. Who is doing that? Alright, we're going to pull the reverser down a bit. Give her a little more juice. The wood almost looks like a plastic. And I don't know if it's something to do with the textures overall. I feel like they could have been a lot more sharpish. I like the movement between the locomotive and the tender back here. That's nice. There's our lamp. Of course, these things did not have cab lights, so that's how you see your lamp. Alright, we're going to pull this down more. You never want to go below about 30, 25, 30. Now, also, I do have some of my HUD hidden. And the game got super stuttery right there. Holy crap. So, there are a lot of things you're going to want to learn if you end up picking this up, which I am not seeing right now like a dingus. So, I'm going to try and open those back up here. See if I can remember the keys. Ah, there we are. What was that? What key did I hit? Control 5. Alright, so of course you've got your gradient over here, which is very helpful. Your speedo, vacuum gauge. The frame rate just took a massive dump again. There's some new age signaling coming at you there. Transition period, of course. These things were fully removed from BR rails, I think, in the 60s. And there are quite a few today preserved as well, which is nice. But, you know, just, I gotta say it. You gotta hand it to British Rail and, you know, just UK trains and operation in general when it comes to steam. Because when they take these things on heritage journeys out on the main line, they're not pussyfooting around at 20 mile an hour. They are hauling ass, you know, just like they would have back in the day. And I love that about old BR steam. Bouncing like a son of a gun. I believe we're going to be diverging here in a moment. Slow down a bit. It's getting very janky as we approach, where the hell are we at anyway? Is that Liverpool over there? We're going way too fast. Getting some vacuum pressure back where it needs to be for the brakes. Oh, we're stopping here. I completely forgot about that. Old tower there. Yeah, we slowed down way too much. Ah, Edge Hill. Okay. Look at this building over here. All right. Okay. I like that. Very nice. Now, the thing about this area and this era, just this area as a whole, absolute mega chungus elephant butt ton of yards and tracks. It was ridiculous how many there were, just like here in the States. So there's quite a bit. In this day and age, it's but a fraction of what used to be here. So I think they kind of tried to represent, obviously, you know, its heyday when there was quite a bit more. How that's going to have an effect performance-wise, I'm not really sure. We'll see how many AI there are and through regular timetable, etc. But, you know, I don't know why they chose this region.
That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
You know, with it being so large, there's so much stuff. I think something like the Port Road would have been cool, or what's that little line in the West Country that goes down to the sea? What's it called? Anyway, that would have been cool. Just a big port down at the end. You know, maybe a few other things. Start small, make it really nice instead of just huge, wide open yards that may be a bit bare. But like I said, we'll see here in a moment. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Right. Training. We did that. So we got Semaphore and Refueling. All right. We'll check out the Semaphores here. These, to me, are confusing as hell. Especially when you've got a whole just massive tower full of them. You know, it's one thing reading one or two of them, but when there's like a bajillion of them above, it's quite freaky. Freaky deaky.
Welcome to Ditton Junction.
That is
In
red.
this training module, we will learn how to read and react to semaphore signaling. In the top right are the
We're in the
signal
8.
speed limit displays. These feature an indication of what is approaching and a countdown distance to when they will come into effect. Green indicates that you are clear to pass the signal.
So I believe he's talking about if you're using the cheaty kind of stuff in the top right of the HUD.
Yellow indicates that you can proceed, but with caution, as the next signal might be red, or there could be a hazard.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Red indicates that you should stop and should not pass this signal.
That's a given.
Some of these displays can be hidden via the settings menu for a more challenging experience. Now let's take a look at some of the signals you'll see on this line. There are two principal classes of signals. Home and starter signals. These are mandatory, and an approaching driver must stop if the signal displays a danger aspect. Distant signals. These are a warning. An approaching driver may pass the signal displaying a caution aspect, but must be prepared to stop at the following signal.
Right. Okay.
The signal in front of you is currently displaying a danger aspect.
Yep.
That means the line ahead is not clear and you must wait.
Alright, so we're waiting on this signal. So essentially when it's horizontal like that, that's bad. That's a negative. When it kind of goes uppy-doo like that, horizontally, or diagonally anyway, you're good.
However, the next distant signal could display caution, meaning that the following signal will be displaying a danger aspect.
Right. So we must pay attention to that. So, let's get going here. I do like the fluid movement of that. Alright. Release the brakes.
vigilant and keep an eye out for the next signal. Proceed when ready.
Alright, once that hits 21, close the small ejector. It's hard to find up here. There we go. It's closed. Close the cacks. Alright, so we gotta watch for speed. So it would appear that with the Jubilee, you don't need to worry about the large ejector as much. Not entirely sure. Or no, you do need to use the large ejector on the Jubilee, but not on here? Not entirely sure. Alright, set the reg to fully open.
Remember, you can always just look at the heads-up display if you're unsure what the next signal is.
Yeah, but that's cheating. And if this is supposed to be a simulator, you gotta do it the right way, eh? Alright, so we gotta watch these signals. That one's red. Yeah, is that ours? Because that's a red. That was ours, yeah? Pull the reverser back a bit. We're gaining speed now. 0.6% upgrade here. Essentially, the faster you go, you want to pull your reverser back. If you're starting uphill or a heavy load or something like that, you want the reverser high. That's the best I understand. Alright, we're stopping in 4 miles, but we got to worry about signals. Alright, flat gradient. We're going to pull the reverser down. Do 28. See how that do. So it's obvious that they've added new things to the HUD. There's this little bit over here on this. This was always here, but this over here. And again, I feel like both of them are massive. They're bigger than they need to be. It would be nice to kind of, I mean, yes, you can get rid of them all the way, which is nice, but it'd be nice kind of like in Trainsim Classic, where you can make them see-through or transparent just a bit, just to kind of have them there if you need them, but then not so much obscuring your view, if you will. The animation is pretty interesting over here, but if I'm honest, I have no clue what any of this means. I feel like they didn't make that very intuitive. You know, steam, I guess, right there, and then up arrows, whatever that means. Your boiler pressure, we're quite low. You know, I don't know. They didn't really explain that either in the tutorial, so I'm gonna pop the reverser forwards a hair because we are going uphill. Set it back to like 35. Signal looks okay. So far, the scenery looks quite drab. Nothing's really standing out. You know, of course, we'll take a deeper look at that in just a moment. But just from what I've noticed so far in these tutorials, it's just very bland. There's really nothing, you know, not to knock on the area. If you're from this area or you think the area is beautiful, you know, to each their own, blah, blah. But, you know, this would be kind of like, I don't know, doing a route in like Nebraska in the States. You know, it's just kind of, you know, yes, there are some pretty areas. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, for the first Steam outing for this game, you know, something by the sea, something with some hills, yes, that would prove difficult. You know, hills, steam engine, and all that. You know, I don't know, something urban? I'm just still curious as to why this area. Now, Crewe, like I mentioned earlier, was a very big part of British Rail, and still kind of is to this day. So I'm not really sure if that has anything to do with it. You know, there's a lot of through freight. I don't know if there's any like local stuff that's going to be on here. Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is we're running out of steam and slowing massively. So I'm going to pull the reg down a little bit, try and let it build some. Put the reverser back up to like 50. Yeah, we're not even going to make it. Now you can see the pressure over here is going up. You know, that's pretty much all you can do is shut the regulator and let it build. Now I may have been using that a bit irresponsibly, and this is what happens. So we're just going to leave it closed for a bit. We're on a 0.5% uphill gradient. We'll try like 65 as far as the reverser, and we'll try and open it. Now, ideally, you do not want it past this red area. That's where all the injector, or not the ejectors, but the safety valves and all that start opening, and it's very ear painful. I think, if that's how I gather. But here we go. Let's try and give her some juice there. Now, there's an auto fireman, obviously, so you don't have to worry about that. I think some people would kind of be not cool with that. Maybe they did want to do the firing. You know, I'm not sure. We'll see if Dovetail implements that at some point, or who knows. But for, you know, weebs like me, that'd be a lot going on, you know. All right, so the regulator was fully open there. Let's see what's going on here. All right, we have new brake pressure. So I'm going to pop that. We're going to open the small one, if I can find it. Hello. Hello. Up, 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 up. There it is. Open it. We're going to build that up. There it is. You heard her unlock herself. I heard some noise. Get it up 21. We're going to close that back. See if we can get this thing moving again here. Where's it at? This thing is not easy to... There we go. Alright. That's the safeties open, so we should be good to go, yeah? Wheel slip. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, there is sand. But typically what these guys would do, and if you watch old footage of these things, you know, in England it's damp. There's crap, coal, soot, whatever, all over the tracks. You know, they wheel slipped like crazy. And it's kind of cool to see a steam engine doing that. Is it good? Not really. Is it terrible? Not really. But typically what you would do if you needed to gain traction is just let off the regulator completely and then just pick it back up. Kind of let it catch up with itself. There is sand. Let's see, is it X? Yeah, so sander front, rear. So you got that, which is nice. But if you start slipping like that, ideally, you know, if you're kind of slow or starting out, just let off the regulator, aka throttle, and then open it back. Give her some more juice. We are still going uphill. We're going to do 50. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping the reverser down. 55 for now. Using a ton of steam right now. We're not even going to make it 1.5 miles. So what is kind of neat is the down arrow and up arrow. So from what I've gathered so far with this over here, if you can see the mouse cursor, we're losing steam. Right now it's going up. It's kind of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When it builds too much, bad things can happen. This thing can detonate. That's why you've got the safety valves that let off that horrid sound like a million bats screeching. But it's necessary, or this turns into a giant BOMB. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Honestly, probably can't this day and age. But anyway, so they're necessary. They're annoying, but they're necessary. So essentially when it goes over that red line there, you're going to start hearing those non-stop. So you could drive irresponsibly and not hear them, but you're also going to lose your steam pressure quite quick. So, all right, we're flat. I'm going to lower the reverser quite a bit here. Go down to 30. We're going to open the rig up to 90. Hearing some flange squeal. That's all right. I'm also hearing the joints, which is nice. I was curious about that. I didn't mention that at all yet. We're still in the tutorials. I'm getting so bogged down in this because it's fairly in-depth. I mean, yes, you'll get used to it eventually. All right, I believe that means the next signal is bad. So this is a distant signal, the yellow. Just like modern, AWS, yellow, distant signal, blah, blah. And it was completely horizontal, so I am assuming the next one is bad, as in red. Alright, so we've got the regulator closed now, so we're building pressure back. You can see this arrow going back up. That over there, I believe, is the river. Is it not? Where are we at? I'm so confused right now. Alright, we gotta slow way down. What time is it? 9:15 in the AM. The sun is yonder. So, that is east. That is west. So no, that is not a port. These these little sheds threw me off here, because I know there's a bit over towards Liverpool in Merseyside that went down to the river, and they were very much served via engine locomotives. All right, so I broke it again. So all that's going to happen is we're going to get up there, and that's that, and this is this. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this. Sorry, because I want to look around. I'll worry about that at another time. I've got a somewhat decent understanding, I would like to think. So, all right, first and foremost, here's the scenarios. So there's 6. I thought there were 5. All right, tables have turned. Really reliable rescue. Interesting. Collect carriages bound for Liverpool Lime Street. They return to Edge Hill. That sounds really interesting there. Worst winter of all. Moving around Mersey. Bovine blockage. Okay, tables have turned. So we'll back out, take a look at the timetable itself. So, LMS Stanier 8F. How many do we got here? Quite a few. Prepare for service. Through freight. Prepare. Express freight. Through freight. Express freight. Yeah, so they don't really seem to be any sort of industrial moves. It all just seems to be through freight. Now, which is kind of a weird decision by Dovetail. You know, it harkens back to Oakville subdivision, the Canadian route, which had like all these massive yards that just were not used. It's kind of like that. It's like there's so many industries. Use them. Otherwise, just they should have picked another location, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, it's all just engine sheds, brake van tour, drive the special service touring the yards from Crewe to Edge Hill. That sounds interesting. So yeah, it doesn't appear to be anything, as far as taking care of business. All right, LMS Jube. Let's see what she's got here. Quite a few services as well. Liverpool line to Euston. Of course, it doesn't go all the way to London Euston, naturally. Stopper, semi-fast, prepare coaches, bleepity bleep. Blobbity blop. All right, I want to take a look at Liverpool Lime Street because that is a very, very interesting station. So let's get something midday-ish. Turn this locomotive to Edge Hill Sheds. Can I just go from Liverpool Lime Street down the Manchester London Road to Ditton? We'll do that one. Aye. All right, Liverpool Lime Street. Interesting place. It's like basically underground almost. Massive tunnel and gradient. You can tell just looking straight down there, the roof versus the ground, that is a big, big, big uphill section. So that in itself is going to be a bit of a challenge getting out of here. But, just right off the bat, looking at this, I'm going to get rid of the HUD there. This looks fairly nice to me. Some of my favorite, most bestest, favoritist stuff in Train Sim World that's British is the older stuff. Northern Transpennine, Tees Valley. I love the look of this stuff historically. And this looks pretty good. As far as I know, modern day, the walls in the tunnel itself, they all pretty much look the same. The signal's going to be different. Now, this is a transitional era. You can see these types of signals versus semaphores, yada yada. But it's a very, very interesting station, and this looks pretty damn good so far. Got your turntable over here, and the glass roofs look very nice. I like the lighting. The lighting in here looks okay, even though it's like midday, but it's not dark. Got your lamps up here. This looks pretty good. Love this bit. Suspended by the cables there. It looks very nice. But, just right off the bat, there's nothing going on here. Guys, look at this. This is Liverpool freaking Lime Street. This place is busy. There's one train here. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the map. That would be a good segue to do so. Haven't done that yet. So we have some stuff in the yard. We'll, of course, see that once we get down yonder. I'm not seeing any services to and fro. Look at this place. Cheesy, crazy, lemon squeezy. It's just a spaghetti of steel. It's the West Coast Main Line, and this goes down to, of course, Crewe. Look at this. Good God. Okay. Okay. There's so many industries that need to be used. I think, is this the river here? And is this the port? I know there were some lines that went to the port back in the day. I don't know if there still are in this day and age, but yeah, there's nothing going on here, which is kind of funky. But anyway, back to this. The AI, the people look pretty cool. I like their outfits and how they're dressed. This poor woman's feet are cemented in. Somebody's going to get in trouble for that, possibly lose their job. I love all the old kind of goods crates, fruit, produce, all that good stuff sitting here. That's a nice touch. I do like that. Can hear a little bit of ambient sound. I'll get closer to the street here. Lime Street, of course. Oh, look at the little van. Yes, that's cool. That is cool. What is that, a Citroen? It's a nice-ass little model. Looks pretty good. That is cool, man. Bananas. Bananas. This old Jag. Looks like a Jag, maybe. Little handcart there with suitcases. This looks great. Look at these gates, man. Little ornate kind of leafing down in here. That looks alright. I'm getting a little hot and bothered about this. This looks good in here. Now, but again, you know, I gotta try and keep things real. You know, it's Train Sim World. They tend to do this thing where they centralize on the two anchor points of the route, and they usually look really well. And then the interior or the middle part of the route are usually bland. That's generally how it goes. So I don't want to get too excited, but this looks pretty incredible. You know, as far as like some of the station modeling and for the UK stuff and Train Sim World, I always thought Great Western looked pretty darn good. But this looks fantastic. These buffers look nice. Got the old lamp posts as well. The stonework. This is quite good. Look at that, man. That is all right. Okay. The old boards, very nice. So no digitalization here, obviously. Got your clocks. Seem to be on time, unlike our train. Take a peek outside here. Very bland, as it should be. I mean, you're not going to be out here, right? I'm not sure where these weird-ass lights are coming from. I was seeing that in the reflection of the locomotive earlier. Now, this building doesn't look very good. That's a bit sad. You know, this is Train Sim World. This is a fairly decent game engine, you know, for modern era stuff, and this is what we get. Like, that could have been done a little bit better. Just saying. Just saying. Of course, you can't see the sea. Or the river, anyway. River mouth. Bay. Estuary. I do like this station, though, man. I love this era. I love all things history. And this has just got a feel to it. It looks nice. It looks very nice. All these old posters. Cool. Excellent. Dove Wicks baking powder. Colored television. Big clock up there. This station looks incredible. Now, I'm sure there's probably going to be a lot of people like, oh, it didn't look like that in the 50s. That looked nothing like that. You know, the wood had a different grain. You know, and just other ridiculous stuff. Overall, this looks legit. I love the way this looks. Birmingham ticket office, another luggage cart. More posters over here. Yeah, this looks alright. Some glum folks. Little exterior bit there. Alright, shall we? Let's see if we can get this thing moving, eh? Get your water here, obviously. Which I should probably figure out how to do that. I like the little fire basket over there. Keep warm. Couple sacks of coal. Got some rails, some tanks sitting over here and all that good shite. This is pretty neat. This is pretty neat. Okay, let's go. Right. Okay, let's shut that damn sound up here. And I have no clue about head codes either, so that'll probably be incorrect. Alright, first things first. Reverser. We're going to put that sumbitch all the way up. Brakes off. Cylinder cack open. Large ejector open. Small ejector open. There we go. Got a bit of an echo. Very nice. Once we get out of the tunnel up here, if we make it, we'll take a look at this locomotive. Alright, which one of these do I need to close? No. Is it this one? No. Alright. Maybe that's enough. We'll see. What am I missing? Whoa, there she goes. Little slip. Alright, can we do this? Yeah, the brake keeps applying, and I'm not totally sure why. I didn't pay attention in class. Alright, cylinder cock closed. That's all the way forward. Yeah, it just keeps going all the way. Alright, let's open that. I think they gotta stay open until you're done moving, eh? Alright, small one. Alright, it's rising, but it's not going as high as it should. Alright, we'll try and let go of the brakes. Give her some juice. What is going on here? Oh. Jesus, I am such an idiot. It says uncouple vehicles. Good God. I wondered why there was an engine on the back. Dingus mode engaged. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's get rid of this bastard. Good God. Okay, they're uncoupled. Yeah. Good Lord above. Alright, shall we try that again? Alright, cylinder cock's open. Fully open. Brakes off. How are we looking up there? Now we're getting our vacuum. Let's start giving her some juice. Alright, brakes are off, cylinder cock closed, injector closed. I keep saying injector, ejector. Alright, let's take a look at these head codes. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm hitting H, which is the typical headlight thing, and it's not doing anything. So maybe you have to do that manually? Alright, anyhow, we're going to enjoy the climb out of here. Not a terribly heavy train, I don't believe. I'm going to go ahead and drop the reverser back to 65%. This is a 1.1%. We're gaining speed. Pressure looks okay. It is going down. Yes, I love Liverpool Lime Street. This is cool as hell. Epic. Holy frame rate, Batman. Took a big dump there. Yeah, so it won't let us get up in the city skyline. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I lied. Kind of cheese it. There we go. Yeah, so it looks about how I would imagine. But something else I'm noticing is the smoke. Is it not going through the building here? Or the... my gird, it is inert. How about that? Okay. So the smoke has a life of its own, it would seem. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop the reverser a bit more and give her some juice. Still quite uphillish. Try and drop the reverser down to 40. See how that do. Give her a little more steam. Try 80-ish. Don't want it to drop too much. We're going to be in troubles. Do a little roll by action in the tunnel here. The tracks look unique to the era, as they should be. But I feel like they're a straight rip from Train Sim Classic. There's no tail lamp on the rear coach either. Alright, so we're losing speed. Holy crap, the game freezes when you change views. We're going to put the reverser back up to 50. And just open the rig all the damn way. See if we can get up out of here. We're losing speed big time. I'm gonna let it build some. That's pretty much all you can do. She's struggling. Oh, what the heck? I didn't even unlock the doors at the station back there. I wonder why it was saying unlock the doors. Man. Alright. So we almost made it. We almost made it. Let's see. Edge Hill Platform 2. That was where we're supposed to stop. And here we are, daylight. So it definitely kind of skips and stutters when you get out to a larger area, such as this. And this is a massive area. It looks pretty good around here. The ground textures, as usual, Train Sim World are always a bit lacking, and it kind of just overall kills the experience. If I'm honest, it just looks a bit too bare. You know, especially like this area here. I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on here with some rock here and just whatever the heck this is supposed to be. Down the middle of the tracks. Switches look very nice. Okay. BRN, that's nice. Nice piece of kit. Old buffers there. Small yard. Yeah, it's a big area though. A couple of vans, a couple of trains. Nice. I do like this here. Edge Hill Good Station. That's cool. The painted on lettering. See if we can get up out of here. It's about as high as you can get there. Yeah, I mean it's just a bit bland around here. And fairly stuttery when I look in this general direction. Oh, that's interesting. The way it's got these posts or planks set up out of these little vans here. And they're strapped down as well. That's pretty neat. They don't fit all the way in. They're just slap them in like that. It's fine. Little tower here, or signal box. You know, I like the age, the feel that's gone for here. I do appreciate that, and the buildings and just the way things look. Everything's dingy and smoky and grimy and gnarly. Edge Hill number 3. But there's tracks everywhere, and while that is kind of cool, it's also pointless if you cannot do anything with them. It's like a bit of a shed here. Oh, very nice. Okay. So this is Edge Hill. Big ass area, obviously. I believe that is where we would head southward, down towards Crewe. But the train that's back in the tunnel there will not be moving any further, so it's stuck there. Yeah, it's stuttery as a mofo back here. Let's see what else we can find here. So is that the turn? Oh dear God, I'm lost. Where's this turntable? We must find the turntable on the map, then we'll know precisely where we are. I don't see a turntable. Okay. Well, that's the shed there, yeah? Yeah, okay. So there's, just for this, not scenario, but timetable here, this service, there's quite a bit of AI up here in Edge Hill outside of Lime Street. I mean, what is this? This is almost a dozen engines right there. There's a bunch more that way. All kinds of goods vans, coaches. There's a lot of AI around here, but not as much as there would be realistically. Not to mention, if you're on an older version of a console version of this, it's going to be dropped dramatically as far as AI and just the sheer amount of services that you're going to get just because of the platform and, you know, what it can handle as far as what they're trying to accomplish here. So there's quite a bit of AI, which is nice. It's still, you know, does it suck that these yards aren't filled out? Yeah. Is it understandable why they're not? Because of, you know, a NASA computer wouldn't be able to run it? Yeah, it's totally understandable. That's, you know, that's why. But anyway, so this is Edge Hill, just outside of Liverpool Lime Street. We almost made it up out of here. That area looks phenomenal. We'll try and take another look at some of these other areas here, bit by bit, of course. And, yeah, and then, of course, on down to Crewe. But was there an 8F? Here we go. So they look okay, but again, it's something about the model that makes everything seem kind of flat. It's hard to describe. Just kind of muddy, like Play-Doh-y. It's kind of hard to describe when some of the stuff in Train Sim World in years past definitely has a great bit more detail than these things. Do they look terrible? No, but I feel like they almost look kind of almost like a cartoony element, if you will. And the cab kind of plays the same role with that cartoony look. It's just, I feel like there's areas that should be more shiny and more crisp, and there's areas that should be darker. Everything just kind of looks flat, like it's all one, like it was made from a friggin' 3D printer or something like that. If you get what I'm trying to say. I'm starting to not understand what I'm trying to say. But, you know, the model itself looks good. I'm assuming it's just the texturing and the paint. I don't know. So there's some kind of bare metal going on here, which looks good. You know, I also get that they were trying to go for a weathered look because these things were extremely weathered. But I feel like the 8Fs in general should be darker. You know, but they look okay. They don't look terrible. Not by any means, but a couple of the goods vans here. I think we got some of these in Northern Transpennine. Were they 12 ton? I cannot remember. You should be able to open this little doohickey here. Don't tell me they locked it. Did they lock it? You used to be able to open these in Northern Transpennine. You pull this little pin out here and bloop, it opens. Well, that sucks. There would be no hobo running on here, I guess. But those look fairly nice. They're weathered pretty good. There's these flats. These look pretty good as well. Again, I think a lot of this is straight rip from Train Sim Classic, because all this stuff exists in Train Sim Classic. And it's all very old. Not, you know, very old, but old. Here's the brake vans too, which to my fellow Americans are basically cabooses. So yeah, they're interesting. They have their own unique look to them. They're pretty cool. They look nice. They look weathered nice as well. My I&I settings are probably jacking up the color a little bit, so I don't want to touch on color. But the wood on these in particular look very nice, worn and weathered. The rusted bits of steel strapping here and the nuts and bolts, those all look pretty damn good, might I say. All right, so we'll go ahead and zoop through time and hop on down to another general vicinity. All right, so we are down in Crewe, the very southern edge of the map, or the other anchor point anyway. And again, massive yard, a bit unnecessary. While there is quite a bit of AI in this region, the frames are not fantastic. They could be a bit better, but of course when you look that way it gets fairly slow. So Yeah, there is that. I mean, there's a lot going on. It is very bland, but there's still a lot going on. But just to touch on a few things as usual, it's starting to seem like almost everything with this route almost has no depth to it. Just looking at the ground and the track work and everything, it's funky. While it doesn't look terrible, as far as ballast and the ground texture, because it's usually very repetitive and patterny, that isn't very visible here. It's quite muddy. It's definitely visible right here, as you can tell. But over here, it looks a bit better. There's a lot of crap and scrap and whatnot all around this yard, which is nice, of course. You got a lot of signal boxes, towers. Couple of shops. These here for the coaches, obviously. There's an engine shed up to the left there, if I am not mistaken. And it's a goods yard. Crewe was massive back in the day. And the town was essentially built and sprang up in this area because of it. So, got some stationary coaches sitting here. Yeah, the stations look okay. I like the era that they were going for. But everything just seems kind of bland. I can't really figure it out. I don't know if it's because it was kind of ripped from Train Sim Classic. Signal towers look pretty nice here. New and old coming together, of course. Those are lit. And not Semaphore. Not like Semaphore aren't lit. But anyway, Crewe station, of course, obviously. Nice little flower boxes. Very well. Dude was a bit too modern for the 50s. I like the steel truss or the iron truss, whatever the hell metallurgy it is up there. This looks really good. It always looks really nice. The shadows playing games with the light like this in Train Sim World. I feel like that's always been one of the strong suits. Looks pretty cool. Big station as well. A bit bigger than Liverpool Lime Street, but there's still not much going on. I just chose a random timetable service, and there's no passenger trains here. There's just not much going on. There is AI, and there's stuff here and there. These old bridges here, footbridges, that's pretty cool. Goes all the way across. Got a little park over here with some benches. Yeah, this area looks generally okay. I've seen better distant scenery. Better. I will always revert to the latest German routes, which were just done totally different in terms of how they built the routes. That's why they look so damn good. If they could just use the way they built those last two German routes into everything else, that would be phenomenal. It would just make the scenery look so much more better. This little area down here is pretty neat. Little boats in the locks. Got a boat in the lock as we speak, which is pretty cool. Some weird, just kind of not sure what that is. Doesn't look good though. Yeah. Wow. It's like vomit. Big signal box here. Very nice. That looks good. Yeah, so it's just a big-ass yard. I mean, you're not really going to be doing anything around it except for maybe preparing a train, which I think is the thing that I have selected here. Here's the engine shed, of course, with the turntable. Wiki. With a little hand crank. That's pretty neat. The sounds are good on that. You've got ambient sounds in the sheds, welding and things of that nature, which is pretty neat. Of course, these are some jubes. Some juba-dooba-ding-dongs. There's a ton of them. They just, I don't know, like even in this light, the lighting in here looks pretty good. But they just look really washed out. I can't put my finger on. I'm going to keep trying, though. But it's almost like they have no depth or something. I don't know. They just look a bit funny. Out here, they look a little better. Anson. What's this one? Keith. My boy Keith. Thunderer. Who this? Abukir. Hardy. Yeah, so they're named, of course, like old battleships, which is pretty cool, if I'm honest. So yeah, Crewe. It's big. It's useless. You know, it's just here. This footbridge looks pretty good. All right, anyway, let's get that 8F out of the shed, shall we? Prepare your ear holes. Right. Stop at location. Make sure we're lined up here, eh? That appears so. Alright, I don't think we need full reverser. Well, there's our fireman. Hello, Freddy. Where you been, sneaky sumbitch? Right. Cock open. Ejector open. Let's go. Just gonna burn some steam off there and get that horrible noise going. The joints sound like really flat. They're there, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but they still sound removed from the other sound. It's a bit weird. There we are. Couple to formation. Let's take a look at this son of a gun, shall we? I feel like this one looks a bit better than the Jubilee. I guess just because it's more dank, darker, dingy. Where it doesn't seem as flat. I'm not sure. It looks a little better to me. Plus, I'm a freight guy through and through. Might have something to do with it too. All right, here we go. We're just gonna juke and jive a minute here, and then continue on to another area. Yeah, boy. That'll burn some damn steam off. Get rid of those horrible sounds. Now, one of the things I'm noticing is when you're not under power or under steam and you're just coasting, the clanking of the rods and gears are kind of hard to hear. They're not very prominent. Like even right now, I mean, we're not moving that quick, but I feel like that's missing somewhat. But the chuff sounds nice. I do like the way the chuff sounds. Yeah, those joint sounds sound very flat, just kind of far removed from the rest of the sounds on this thing, but everything else sounds pretty good. Got the old squeaky metallic sounds where they should be, etc. All right, let's boop it. Let's boop it up. All right, maybe not that hard. All right, did we boop? All right, so that's it. And I got achievements for, like, doing nothing. All right, on to the next. All right, so we're at Acton Bridge. We're a little up the way from where we just were at Crewe. We'll pop the map open and show you where we is. About halfways from Crewe, which is down hither, of course. So just wanted to take a look around distant, distant area in the route, kind of middle of nowhere. This is the wide open West Coast Main Line section. A lot of gentle rolling hills, if you will. The grass, at a distance, has still got that weird kind of wet Play-Doh-y look like everything else seems to have with this route so far. Yeah, I don't know how far it's going to let me go back there. We got some 2D tree action back there at a distance, which is nice. Cover up some things. That doesn't look so great back there. But yeah, if you can use 2D at a distance, please do. It helps immensely. Got some of the older semaphores here. Of course, the old telegraph poles. Different colors and whatnot. Those look very nice. That's different as well, except for the wires kind of being square. But hey, what are you going to do? Yeah, it's just, this whole part is just wide open. Relatively high speed, which is nice. So you got that if you're going to run the Jube. This old footbridge here. This thing looks nicely weathered. I like the way that looks. Very weathered and worn. All right. Another signal box. These things are just all over the place on this route, which is pretty cool. Just like here in the States with towers, interlockings. Waiting room. Hello, miss. Got some luggage sitting in there. Another nice looking footbridge. They all kind of look different. They don't really have a one and the same look as far as the footbridges. Windows open here. Oh, very nice. Little shed. All right, so that's that. We'll go a little bit further north. All right, and Runcorn or Runcorn, not sure how you say it. A bit farther north, about 2/3 of the entire route length. And then this, of course, over here is the end of the route. This is Liverpool Lime Street. So this is the river here, and of course the bridge. This was a nicely done area. I think this looks great. They definitely put some time into this area, which is nice. I mean, there's nothing but a bunch of fields for 90% of the route, so it's good that they put a little bit of effort in somewhere like this, which is pretty cool. But, of course, the station and the footbridge. Each station, is unique and different, just like fingerprints. And so the footbridges are going to be as well, right? So they all look different. They all have their own kind of unique character, which is pretty cool. Might I add. But, yeah, another little shed over here as well, which is pretty cool. It's just, it's a shame that we can't really service stuff like this. Do a little local, drive a way freight, dropping off cars here and there. Because I feel like that would have put the cherry on top of this route where it's lacking, sort of like Oakville Subdivision. Whereas with Oakville Subdivision, it was just straight freight. I just rhymed. I'm a rapper now. But this, you've got a few options, which is nice. Options are always nice. But I think I'm pretty much going to leave it here. A shorter look than usual at Spirit of Steam. Overall, just closing thoughts, I think it's fairly decent. You know, they got steam into Train Sim World 2. A lot of people have been asking for it for a long time. The rolling stock, you know, the engines, especially locomotives, are fairly well known and used quite a bit for a long time. I mean, these things, when they were finally pulled, were over 30 years old. You know, maybe a bit more, but the scenery looks okay for the most part. Some of the stuff looks pretty bland and muddy. It's typically the green areas and the wide open spaces. I mean, this shot here looks okay for the most part. You know, the tracks look the specific era, the proper era, if you will. The ballast is a nice change. It doesn't have that crappy texture like this. This looks fairly good for the most part. The ballast, that's a big deal, because that's like what you're seeing 90% of the time as you're going down the tracks, right? You don't want to see this stupid pattern looking stuff going on all the time. So that's nice. I feel like the grass still looks stupid in the bushes. You know, it's neon green. You know, this area in this era would have been just dingy, dark, dungeness, dim lit. You know, just coal and ore and just all kinds of crap all over the ground, especially near the railways. So I feel like it could have been a little more dirty instead of this fun, happy, you know, kind of playful look that it's got, super colorful and all that, and bright. You know, the engines sound great. I'm sure a lot of people would argue with me there, especially, you know, diehard steam fans of the British variety. British. But as far as I can tell, and you know, I've seen plenty of video and whatnot on these things, they sound pretty good, you know, from the whistle to the chuffs. They could use some clanking from the gears and whatnot moving around. That is kind of not there. You know, as far as operating the things, it's a bit of a challenge, which is nice. It's not just hopping in and hit and go and then braking. You know, these things are going to take some doing to get moving and go uphill. I couldn't even get up out of damn, you know, Liverpool Lime Street. So just goes to show you it's going to take a bit of practice to figure this stuff out. But yeah, overall, I think it's a nice start, a nice venture, a nice foray into steam for Train Sim World 2. It's going to be nice taking these things down the WSR, West Somerset Railway, in the game, of course. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. There's plenty of timetable stuff to keep you busy for a while. I just feel like the area was kind of a stupid choice, being that it's so massive in some areas that it just, you know, we could have gone for something a little more narrow, a little bit more scenic. I don't really know where, but I feel like it's just a massive, just a big waste of space. Like, it's not, you know, it's not really there. But so far, I'm pleased. You know, I don't know if I'd throw a number at it just yet without truly thinking it through, but I just wanted to kind of have a quick look. And in case you might have been interested as well, again, thank you for watching. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And I'll see you next time. But that's it for Spirit of Steam for Train Sim World 2 for now. Take care out there, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.